This is a Pele Media podcast.
Welcome back to Jurassic Park Minute. Jurassic Park Minute is the fan podcast that chronicles and overanalyzes the classic 1993 film Jurassic Park minute by minute. I'm Kyle.
I'm Brady.
And today we're here to bring you minute number 56. Brady, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Just enjoying 2017 thus far.
Yeah, how is it just a couple days in here?
Well, let's see. I showed up to pick up my New Year's Eve date the other night and didn't notice her waving me towards the gravel driveway. So I'm like, oh, there she is, and just floor it right up into their front yard, which was, as you know, we had like tropical storms that night.
Yeah.
So their yard was like a swamp, and my car got stuck.
It got stuck in the front yard.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So what did you guys do? Did you get like an Uber? Just like walk to where you were
I had
going?
to get it towed out. Nah, not next year.
Not next year. Just going to stay home and watch Jurassic Park instead.
Well, yeah.
Well, just want to tell folks out there if they could stay home and watch Jurassic Park if they want. But if they want to watch The Lost World, we're going to be doing that and talking about it this Saturday on our upcoming Patreon episode. Folks, if you're not a part of our Patreon program, you really need to get on board this thing because it is amazing, right?
Oh, yeah.
I ask you as you have a mouthful of candy. I'm sorry.
right.
I should have queued you up for that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, New Year, new me. I've been stuffing my face full of chocolate over here at your house before we started recording the show. So the New Year's resolutions are not going well so far. But this Patreon is going to be going pretty fantastic because we have a lot of Jurassic Park content lined up for hopefully, the remainder of the time that we're going to be reviewing Jurassic Park. So that should be through March, according to my calculations at the moment, with the number of episodes we have left. But so this weekend, on Saturday, we're going to be talking about The Lost World. And if you'd like to hear that, just go on over to patreon.com/PeleMedia. And for only the low price of $1 a month, you'll get a special episode every weekend, a bonus episode for our Patreon supporters. One of which we kind of dropped in the feed a couple weeks ago, which was our top 3 movies of 2016. I think you and Jamie and I got together and talked about that and had a lot of fun doing that. So we have that kind of content over there. So you will get the Jurassic Park upcoming shows as well as the entire back catalog of stuff we did for Ghostbusters Minute and a few episodes we just threw in for fun. So it's a lot of fun. Looking forward to Lost World. When's the last time you watched Lost World?
A while ago. I'm looking forward to it, actually.
I think it was together. We watched it a couple years ago. You and I, we had
Kathleen. We had like a marathon, Jurassic Park marathon.
It was completely unintentional. I think I got in the Blu-ray in and I was like, "Hey man, come on over. There's nothing going on. Let's watch Jurassic Park." And then we followed it up immediately with The Lost World and went right into Jurassic Park 3. So that was a few years ago, but it was a lot of fun. But I don't have a lot of fond memories of The Lost World, and I'd like to watch it again with a little bit more of maybe less critical eye, and kind of give it a chance.
There are Jurassic Park fans out there who believe that who think that The Lost World is actually the best in the series.
They think it's superior to Jurassic Park or just better than Jurassic Park 3?
To both. And I'm interested, like you, I haven't seen it in a while, so I'm interested in watching it and seeing where they're coming from with that.
Yeah, I remember the scene inside of the station that they had, the accordion-style mobile station was pretty intense, and I remember liking that a lot. So I'm sure that probably holds up, but we'll see how the rest of the movie fares. But.
And that's the thing is that sequence I find more interesting than I remember that more than I do any of the dinosaur attacks.
Right.
So if that's any indication of how I feel about the movie, then I'm looking forward to going into it and critiquing it.
Cool. Well, that'll be coming up this Saturday, folks. So if that sounds like something you want to get into, head on over to patreon.com/PeleMedia, and again, only $1 a month, and you'll get a custom RSS feed where you can just plug that into any feed catch or podcast catcher that you use, and the show will be coming to you there, so you don't have to listen to it through the Patreon website. So, but hey, Brady, are you ready to go ahead and get into the show?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. In the previous minute, we saw Dennis Nedry begin his plan to steal dinosaur embryos from the cryo labs at Jurassic Park. At minute number 56, we see Nedry's stopwatch program now running. He now has 20 minutes to steal the embryos and get them to the docks. At 56:02, we see the tour vehicles heading back to the garage through the pounding rain. At 56:08, in the rear vehicle are Dr. Ian Malcolm and Dr. Alan Grant. Malcolm is unscrewing the top to a flask of alcohol. Grant asks Malcolm if he has any kids. Malcolm responds that he has 3 children and proclaims that he loves kids. Malcolm takes a swig of the flask. Malcolm states that anything at all can and does happen. Malcolm offers a drink to Grant, who waves it away. Malcolm says, the same with wives for that matter. Grant asks him if he is married. Malcolm says, occasionally. Malcolm goes on to state that he is always on the lookout for a future ex-Mrs. Malcolm. Malcolm laughs at his own wittiness. At 56:34, we cut to an interior shot of the control center where we can now see Nidri running past 2 windows. Nidri stops at a door and peers inside. At 56:40, through the glass on the door, we can see a video surveillance camera monitoring the room. Nidri counts down from 5. When he gets to 1, we see a red light turn off on the camera, and the contamination airlock door unlocks. Nidri slides the door open and steps inside. At 56:51, we see Ray light up a Zippo lighter and raise it to his cigarette. When the lighter nearly touches the cigarette, Ray is alarmed when his computer starts beeping. Ray turns his head to see red indicators showing up on his computer screen. Each red dot appears to show up over a doorway. Ray says, "That's odd." From off-screen, John Hammond asks him, "What?" And thus ends minute number 56 of Jurassic Park. So, there is not a lot happening in this minute, but there is at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just Nedry basically walking into the cryo thing and, kind of like waiting for the clock to count down, and a little bit of a conversation with Ian and Grant there in the car about wives and stuff like that. But I actually really like this minute. In fact, I like the whole Dennis Nedry trying to get off the island thing because I think the tone of it is just perfect.
Yeah, the fact that there's corporate espionage in this movie makes me like it all the more. If it had just been dino attacks and everything, it just wouldn't have been all that interesting.
Right.
And this is, in fact, this might be one of the more tense sequences in the movie is Nidri trying to get to the boat on time. It's still the embryos and get to the boat on time.
Yeah, it's definitely ramping things up for the Tyrannosaurus attack that's about to happen in just a couple of minutes, but it seeds it very well. It kind of gets you nervous. It kind of amps up the anxiety because we're 56 minutes in here, and there really hasn't been a whole lot of action for this movie so far. It's just a lot of talking, a lot of very interesting talking, but the stakes are now getting raised minute by minute before we actually get into the dinosaurs attacking.
The Tyrannosaurus Rex attack scene is the sequence that everybody went to the movie. Whether you had read the book or not, you know that sequence is coming. So you're all waiting for that. And then you're following this and you're like, what the hell is going on? I'm invested now in a story about a spy or a wannabe spy stealing these embryos. And I'm like, where's this big sequence that I've heard so much about and I'm waiting for? And this is gearing up all that tension for that reveal.
Yeah. In the trailering for this movie, they didn't show any dinosaurs, right? Like, I think the only thing that I remember seeing was a Tyrannosaurus Rex leg maybe coming down and pushing into the mud. I think I remember seeing that on like maybe a TV spot or something like that.
I think I've talked about it before already. The teaser trailer for this movie, this movie had a wonderful marketing campaign. The teaser trailer is one of the best teaser trailers I've ever seen. It had a second trailer, which is excellent. And all you got was like kind of dinosaur tails of the foot or the T-Rex coming down and looking at Lex through the window and his pupil dilating.
Yeah, just the eye. Yeah.
And then I think there was another one. But the fact that they did withhold on showing all of that is, masterstroke.
It really got you ready for this movie when you went in because you didn't, are ready to be blown away, basically, because you didn't know what to expect. And I think that they're continuing to hold off the big dinosaur stuff through this, So we're 56 minutes in, and I can say, or 57 and 58, we don't see any more dinosaurs than that. We're not going to see them for a few more minutes, but still, it's just like at the last minute here, they're really kind of twisting the knife, cranking the anxiety up the whole time. Yeah. So. And of course, he says he has an ex-wife. We don't actually know who his wives are, but in the Lost World, he is dating Sarah Harding, who was played by Julianne
Moore.
Julianne Moore, thank you. Not Juliette Lewis. Not Julianne Moore, who was pretty great in that movie as well. I love anything that Julianne Moore is in. So anyway, that's pretty much all I've got for minute number 56. Do you have any notes on this?
Yes, I do. On Ray's computer, we see the blueprints of the building, and I was trying to figure out where the entrance to the visitor center, the rotunda, would be, and like the restaurant and all of that. You can kind of tell, but we just sort of assumed that the genetics lab and mission control, the control room, are all in the same building, all in the same compound. So it was interesting kind of looking over at that overhead glimpse and trying to figure out where you are.
They do kind of make it appear like, from where we were watching the ride that went through earlier, that this is all like right next to each other. And the cryo lab is next to each other because when you see Nidri walk past that window, it's the same window that's right there by his desk. So all that Muldoon or Ray or anybody had to do was really kind of like look over their shoulder into that cryo room, and they could probably see Nidri like stumbling around in there trying to pick up dinosaur embryos and stuff. So, but they didn't, and he's able to get away with it. So
that's right. The only other note that I have is Grant and Malcolm's rapport. is kind of funny.
Yeah, it is.
The fact that they're kind of warming up too.
One of my favorite lines in the movie is, "I'm always looking for a future ex, Mrs. Malcolm." You know, that kind of attitude, just kind of like, "Oh, I'm always looking for an ex-girlfriend out there."
Yeah.
I thought that's a pretty funny line. So, yeah. Do you think Ian Malcolm really likes kids?
Yeah, I think so. It's interesting. Earlier, they when the kids run up and they see Hammond on the stairs, they show all the men in the group, and they're all frowning. And then yet we hear Malcolm later talking about how much he loves kids.
Yeah.
He seems like the kind of guy who would, I think.
Yeah, definitely likes him more than Dr. Grant appears to. But, that's kind of Dr. Grant's arc in the whole thing. So.
That's right.
All right. Well, hey, I don't have anything else. You ready to get out of here?
Let's do it.
All right, folks. Well, again, that's going to be The Lost World coming up this Saturday. If you want to check that out, head on over to patreon.com/Pele Media. Sign up for that. Get access to everything we have done in the Patreon feed up to this point and future episodes. So, all right, folks, have a great day. We will see you here tomorrow. I'm Kyle.
I'm Brady.
And until next time, hold on to your butts.
Jurassic Park Minute is a fan-supported podcast. If you like the podcast, then leave us a review on iTunes. You can contact us at JurassicParkMinute@gmail.com and visit us online at JurassicParkMinute.com, Facebook.com/Jurassic Park Minute, and Twitter.com/Jurassic Minute. You've been listening to a Pele Media podcast. For premium content and exclusive podcasts, visit us at patreon.com/Pele Media. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Pele Media and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/Pele Media.